So, si VP Sara ay nag-resign na bilang miyembro ng gabinete ni President Bongbong Marcos. No reason was given, pero sana bumaba siya para magkaroon tayo ng kalihim ng edukasyon na may mas angkop na kakayahan. Charot, ayun naman, politika lang yun. So ano pa nga bang ambag dapat ng vice-presidente ng Pilipinas? Kailangan ba talaga may cabinet position sila? Tignan natin ang ibang naging pangalawang pangulo. Si Mariano Trias ang nahalal na vice ni Emilio Aguinaldo noong Tejeros Convention noong 1897. Pero dahil hindi pa tayo sovereign nation noon, parang hindi siya counted. After the revolution, he was active in politics, and when he died, the town of San Francisco de Malabon in Cavite was renamed in his honor. Sergio Osmeña was VP to Manuel Quezon in 1935 and in 1941. He served as the Secretary of Public Instruction, Health, and Public Welfare. Elpidio Quirino was VP to Manuel Rojas in 1946. He served as Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Now, both Quezon and Rojas died in office. So when Osmeña and Quirino took over the presidency, the office of the Vice President was vacant. Fernando Lopez was VP to Elpidio Quirino in 1949. He served as Secretary of Agriculture. Jose P. Garcia was VP to Ramon Magsaysay in 1953. He served as Secretary of Foreign Affairs until Magsaysay died and he had to take over the presidency. Diosdado Macapagal was VP to Carlos P. Garcia in 1957. Hindi siya binigyan ng cabinet post. Bakit kaya? Hindi ko alam. Emmanuel Pelaez was VP to Diosdado Macapagal in 1961. He served as Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Fernando Lopez became VP again, this time to Ferdinand Marcos in 1965 and in 1969. He served as Secretary of Agriculture. Hindi na niya na-complete yung second term niya kasi nag-martial law. Nung martial law, walang vice president, walang kongreso, walang senado, kaya po dictatorship ang tawag sa panahon na yon kasi one person had absolute power. The VP position stayed vacant even after martial law was lifted in 1981. It was only put back on the ballot in 1986. Doy Laurel was VP to Cory Aquino in 1986. He served as Secretary of Foreign Affairs for only about a year. He gave up the cabinet post because he had differences with the Cory administration. Joseph Estrada was VP to Fidel Ramos in 1992. He was chairman of the Presidential Anti-Crime Commission. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was VP to Estrada in 1996. She was Secretary of Social Welfare and Development. Teofisto Gingona Jr. was VP to Arroyo. She became president when Estrada was ousted in 2001. Gingona served as Secretary of Foreign Affairs. The next vice president served as the chairpersons of the Housing and Urban Development Council. Noli Di Castro as Arroyo's VP in 2004. Jejo Marbinay as Noynoy Aquino's VP in 2010. Leni Robredo was Rodrigo Duterte's VP in 2016. And she was also chairperson of the Housing and Urban Development Council. She resigned after she was uninvited to cabinet meetings. Leni was also made the head of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs, but she was fired after 19 days. Hindi sila schwak ni Duterte the Elder. Interesting stats, 6 out of the 14 VPs also became presidents. Diosdado Macapagal and his daughter Gloria Arroyo are the only father-child to occupy the president and vice president. History and personal experience teach us that we don't always get along with those we work with. In politics, whenever interests don't align, we see resignations, dismissals, at kung ano-anong drama. Opinion ko to ha. Ang kailangan natin, yung public servant na kahit hindi sila magkasundo politically, inuuna pa rin ang duty bilang lingkod bayan. Wish ko lang na the Office of the Vice President can be empowered to execute development projects around access to basic needs like housing, health, food, and education. Yun bang parang filling the gap between what the people need and what the executive branch can deliver? Yun bang kahit walang cabinet position, pwede makatulong sa mga tao at hindi winawaldas ang pera ng bayan? Nagawa na naman dati yun eh. So, posibleng gawin ulit. O, diba?
Meow meow.